Greetings, fellow action figure connoisseurs, and welcome to another episode of Digital Caveman Presents Marvel Monday. I, as always, am your host, the Digital Caveman, and today I will be presenting you with the Marvel Legends series Inhumans 2-pack of Crystal and Lockjaw. Let's get into it! Let's start things off with a look at the packaging. And here on the top, we've got Marvel Inhumans. And then, you know, some black and some blue. At least I guess it's blue. Looks blue to me. I'm colorblind. Don't make fun of handicapped people. And then it kind of continues on into here. The blue does. Warning! Don't stick things in your pie hole that do not belong there. Marvel Legends series Inhumans, Marvel's Crystal and Lockjaw. And then some lovely artwork of the pair together. 4 and up, assortment number, if you're interested in that kind of thing. Hasbro print on the bottom. Small print, fine print, legalese print, made in China print. Symbols I'm not going to learn. And a barcode. Also another little number under there. On this side, Marvel Legends series and some nice artwork of Lockjaw with the Inhumans symbol there. On the other side, Marvel Legends series, nice artwork of Crystal. And again, the Inhumans logo there. Or their symbol, rather. Marvel Legends series, Marvel's Crystal, Lockjaw. And then there's some nice digital renders of the pair. Princess of the Inhuman royal family, Crystal uses her ability to control elements alongside her loyal protector, Lockjaw, who is a teleporter. And it doesn't tell you that. So here it is again in some other languages. Warning, attention, Octoon. Don't stick things in your pie hole that don't belong there. Don't give it to babies. Includes figure and 12 pieces. Attention, especially don't stick it in your French pie hole. Marvel print, small print, prime print, legalese print, made in China print, and Hasbro print. That, my friends, does it for a look at the packaging. Let's take a look at the figures and the accessories. And let's start off with Lockjaw's accessories. And here we have his alternate power fork, I guess you could call it. Tuning fork. And this is just the regular neutral version. And the one that's on him is the powered, fixing to teleport people version. So it's cool that he comes with both of those. And next up we have an alternate, I don't want to call it faceplate, nose plate, mouth plate. So anyway, you have an alternate nose and mouth, and it does have very nice sculpted details in there, along with some pretty good paint, like for the nose, the teeth, maybe like a wash here on the upper lip. Got some wash going on down here for sure. And just very, very nice looking. Then he has the 2 alternate sitting legs. And again, nice molded detail in there. A lot of fur sculpted in there. Got some paint for his toenails. Paint for his foot pad and toe beans. That kind of stuff. So, it's a cool piece. We'll get into that later, though. And then more of the same for this one. And you can see it's got not just a round port in here, so it's got some notches in here to get a little extra bend in it. So, that's cool. Now let's talk about Crystal's accessories. And first up, she has 2 fists in and out hinges, and I'm sure we've seen this plenty of times throughout Marvel Legends series. Molded all in black plastic, it appears, and more of the same for this one. So, you know, nothing new there. Now, something that is new are her 2 elemental power effects, this one being fire, and as you can see, it's got a loop right here that I'm guessing the hands, you remove the hands and pin them through this loop, and the other one has this as well. So it's molded in this translucent plastic, and it looks like it's got a little bit of paint on it as well. Or maybe it's just some color, some different color added to when it was molded. Yeah, it looks more like that. So more color toward the end, less color toward the beginning. So, cool piece. Then the other piece here is water. Could be wind. She controls the elements. So we're going to say it's water, and it has that same loop on the end of it that fire does. And very nice molded detail to it. Looks like it's one color basically through most of it. So very cool looking. I like it. And her final accessory is her alternate head. And it's the windswept look. And it's okay. I'm not the biggest fan for that windswept hair, but when you can use it, it's great. So it's got this nice, probably tampo, or maybe it's part of the face printing technology, but it's probably a tampo of the, you know, her hair design and the face printing on that. I mean, look at the eyes, they're incredible. The eyes, the lips, eyebrows, eyeshadow, just fabulous. It's got a little blemish on it right there. So very nice, very crystal. So speaking of crystal, let's move Lockjaw off to the side for a minute, and we'll take a look at Crystal real quick. And here we move the camera up. Boop, beep. So I have to say, again, everything I said about the face printing on the other one is the same for this one, and it's just fantastic. The colors are very bright and vibrant. The eyes, to me, really just stand out. Very, very cool. And again, you know, we've got this probably a tampo of the design that's always been in her hair. Looks like the majority of the figure is molded in yellow plastic. Got some paint on the forearm here, whether it's the yellow or the black, I can't really tell you. Hands molded in black. Black paint for the belt, black paint for the thigh stripe, pelvic stripe. I'm not sure exactly what you would call that positioning. And then around the neck, some paint there as well for that band. And then it looks like probably some black paint here for the boot tops. And see how they're up high in the front, and then they go down lower in the back at angles, steep angles. And the same on the gloves, real high on the outside here, and then much lower on the inside. Well, let's take a look at her articulation real quick. She doesn't really look up because of the hair. Down, she can look that far down, and it looks like the head is on a dumbbell. As far as rotation goes, you can get the full exorcist, but it is not the easiest to do. It really doesn't have any chicken neck. She's got a little bit of waggle, but it's mostly hindered due to the hair sculpt. At the shoulder, no butterfly. 360 degrees worth of rotation. She can raise her hand since she's sure that high. Cut at the upper bicep. 360 degrees of rotation there. Double hinged pinless elbow gives you that much bend, so really good range there. 360 degrees of rotation at the wrist on in and out hinge, and of course, you know, we've seen these hands plenty of times. 360 degrees of rotation on the other one as well as in and out hinge also, but it was a little stuck. So where the chest and the abdomen meet, there is a cut. It gives you some hula. And the head pops off. And I was wrong about the head being on a dumbbell. It's on a hinge and ball. So she gets some hula there. 360 degrees of rotation. She can lean left and right. She can lean back that far and forward that far. So it's really good. At the hips, she can give you that much of the splits. She can kick forward a little past 90 degrees, but you do have to twist the leg just a little bit there at the hip joint. And then back maybe a half a step. Cut here at the upper thigh for a full 360 degrees of rotation. Double hinged pinless knee. It gives you that much bend. And at the ankle, tilts down that far, tilts up that far, and forward facing pin for rocker. Well, let's take a look at Lockjaw, which I'm sure is the reason most people bought this set. So first of all, nice fur sculpting throughout the figure. And it's got some washes and shading and stuff like that in the paint. Same as the alternate mouth, you know, around the upper lip here. Paint for the nose, wash down here. Looks like it's got some wash down here on the belly. Or the chest. And then it goes down onto the belly. And again, toenails, feet pads, toe beans. They're all painted. And let's talk about his articulation, or maybe the not so much of his articulation. Oh, I forgot to talk about the paint in his eyes. So look at that. Really very puppy looking. And then on the ears as well. It's kind of got a, you know, it's real dark up here, and then it fades down a little bit as it gets down here. So again, now let's talk about the articulation, or maybe the lack of, but we'll see what he's got. There's a hinge and peg at the tail. It goes down that far, it goes up that far, and it will rotate full 360 degrees. So that's cool. On the hind legs, it's on a half dumbbell, and the ball at the end allows for the legs to swivel in and out like such. You can raise them, bend them in, and they will do full 360 degrees of rotation. The only other articulation in the legs is at the ankles, and they will tilt down that far. They will tilt up that far, and they do have forward facing pin for rocker, and that applies to both of the back legs. The front legs, it's pretty much the same. You can twist them out that far, you can twist them in that far. They do have 360 degrees of rotation. They'll swing out that far, they'll swing in this far, and they do have ankle articulation. Ankles, or the feet point down that far, up that far, and they do have forward facing pins for rocker. And I forgot to look at that paint. That looks cool as well. So there you have it for his, well, his leg articulation. At his head, he can do the full exorcist. He can look up that far. He can look down that far. As far as swapping the parts out, that piece just pulls out. And the other piece just pops in. It's got a little nub on the back of it. So it kind of helps it stay in position. And the faceplate. You know, if you don't want the tongue lolling face on him, you just pull that one off. And you line up the pegs and the ports on the alternate one. And there you have it. So, there we have it, my friends. Well, I guess we need to talk about the spare hind legs too, don't we? Yeah. So, to swap the legs out, you just kind of twist them off a little bit. And to put the other leg on, you just line up the ball and the port here and give it a good squeeze while twisting a little bit, and there's no satisfying pop to let you know that you got it on there. So there is that. Alright, so these are his legs for sitting. I don't think this was the best choice, because he doesn't really sit his butt all the way down on the ground. He's just kind of squatting like he's fixing to take a crap or pee. I think one of the pictures on the box shows him sitting like this, which is okay. I mean, I've seen dogs sit like that before, so it's just not my favorite stuff. I mean, I understand why they did it this way, but I think the money that they spent on these extra leg pieces would have been better spent on adding articulation to the figure. That's my opinion, of course. Your mileage may vary, and I know there's people who argue that you see Lockjaw, you pretty much only ever see him in two stances, like he's standing up on all fours or he's sitting down, and that's the way you see him. And with that mindset, this works, but I really think the articulation, the extra articulation, would have worked out better. Well, there you have it, my friends. A look at the figures and their accessories. It's time for my favorite part of a review, comparisons. And here we have the Marvel Legends series, the Lockjaw and Crystal 2-pack. First off, with Crystal's ex-husband, the Amazon exclusive Marvel Legends series Family Matters 3-pack Quicksilver, and the Marvel Legends series Fantastic Four retro card Johnny Storm. And Johnny, of course, is Crystal's ex-boyfriend. For our final set of comparisons, here we have the Marvel Legends series Crystal and Lockjaw Inhumans 2-pack, with from the Marvel Legends series making his cameo appearance, Stan the Man Lee. From G.I. Joe Classified series, the Hasbro Pulse exclusive Regal variant Cobra Commander. From Star Wars The Black series, the Archive Edition 501st Legion Clone Trooper. And for a 7-inch scale comparison, from the Masters of the Universe Masterverse line, the 40th Anniversary He-Man. For final thoughts on the Marvel Legends series Lockjaw and Crystal 2-pack, I'm sure most folks really picked this up for the Lockjaw And I hope you guys were not disappointed with this if you've already picked it up. If you have, to me, the lack of articulation in the legs for Lockjaw is a severe disappointment for me. They could have taken many, many lessons from the G.I. Joe team and made this Lockjaw a spectacular figure. And, you know, you could have set him in the position you wanted him to sit in rather than that one specific almost sitting or taking a dump that the alternate legs hold. That is my biggest disappointment with this 2-pack. The face plate or nose and mouth plate swap out, I think is fantastic. It's much better than doing an entire head sculpt for Lockjaw, or two entirely different head sculpts, or including two entirely different heads with different portraits on them. Rather, I think that's kind of what I'm trying to say. You know, I do think that's a good cost-saving feature. I do like the swap out tuning fork deal, one powered and one unpowered, and I like the fact that you can swap them out rather than, you know, if they had given us two separate heads with this release, you know, I don't believe that they would have been swappable. So I like the swappable parts on there. Big disappointment on the articulation for the front and the rear legs. I mean, although I do realize that most of the time when you see Lockjaw, you see him, he's either standing up like this or he's sitting down. I just would have much preferred options, and those options being able to pose it like I really want to pose it. Now, as far as the crystal goes, I think it's pretty good. I think the decos on it are good, and you know, this pretty much fits any, for the most part, scenario that you would want to put crystal in. Of course, they could repaint this or use a different female body and reuse this head and give her the Fantastic Four uniform, or for the most part reuse this one, just add the jacketed arms and the jacket overlay for it, the rogue jacket, or I think the Cersei and Black Knight 2-pack had that as well. And then, you know, you get that 90s version of Crystal. And, you know, not that Crystal is my favorite Inhuman, but I think, you know, they pair her up with Lockjaw an awful lot, so that makes this 2-pack makes sense that they would, you know, offer these two characters together. And, you know, I'm not super big into the Inhumans, but I do believe that Lockjaw is an iconic Marvel character. And Crystal has appeared as parts of other things throughout the Marvel universe. You know, she's at least been a member of the Fantastic Four and a member of the Avengers, as well as, of course, being part of the Inhuman royal family. And so, you know, I wouldn't say she's... I guess her hair is an iconic look, but I think she's an important character in the Marvel universe enough that, you know, I'm gonna pick her up. She appeared in enough stuff outside of Inhumans that, you know, I feel like she's an interesting enough character. The only other Inhuman that I own that I still have yet to review is Black Bolt, and I may get the Karnak, and if they not re-release, but if they redo Medusa, I may pick her up as well. But again, I may not either, because I'm not the biggest Inhuman fan, and they're okay, And, you know, they're mostly, you know, they have here and there had their own mini-series and maybe a series here and there that were kind of short-lived. But for the most part, it was, you know, they were pieces of stories for other heroes. Well, that does it for the review. I hope you enjoyed it. I enjoyed making it. Only support from viewers like you make this programming possible. Each view does count, and I do appreciate each and every single view that I receive. Thank you, and thank you so very, very much for supporting this channel through viewing. If you are interested in supporting my channel further, I'm now offering memberships at various tiers. Click the join button on my YouTube page, or check this video's description for the link and see if any membership offers are right for you, but only if you are in a position to do so. Comment below, like, share, subscribe if you would like to see more content or just help the channel grow, or both, that's even better. And don't forget to ding that bell so that in the future you will be notified as my new content becomes available. That's a wrap, folks. I'll see you next time.